Peace. This is Wise for Wise Words Media, and fight fans, buckle up. It's on. We got major news yesterday in the boxing world. One of the biggest fights that could possibly go down is actually going to happen this year, sometime in the spring. And that is the Japanese monster, Inoue, versus America's own Stephen Fulton. Wow. This fight right here is a must-see. I mean, this one is going to have a guy who's an offensive machine in Inoue versus a guy that is, I'm talking about when you want to mention some of the more skilled fighters, and I'm talking about like all-around skill, footwork, head movement, jab, combination punching. You must bring up the name Stephen Fulton. So the bulldozer Inoue is going to go on one of the smoothest, slickest, purest boxers in boxing today, Stephen Fulton. Now, see, I didn't put Inoue in my top 10 pound for pound list. If you haven't seen my list, the video's up. He didn't make my list because false media likes to do this. Whenever they see a certain person that's champion, that should be number one pound for pound, be it because of the skill, record, resume, they disregard all of that. And then they make these people skip the line, and suddenly, when they are met with a true step-up fight, a true guy that's supposed to now be on their level, they get completely washed. So we've seen it happen before. They were waiting for Floyd Mayweather to get out the way. As soon as Floyd retired, they plugged in Pacquiao. Floyd made easy work of Pacquiao. Soon as Floyd retires again, but this time for good, instead of moving Andre Ward to his rightful spot, these guys end up putting Kovalev at that number one spot. What happens? Kovalev meets Ward. Ward destroys Kovalev. And Kovalev was never the same. So don't give me that Canelo beat Kovalev. That was not the crusher. Andre Ward beat the crusher. So now, you fast forward a little more from that. You got Terrence Crawford, who was supposed to be number one since 2017, even probably earlier, but let's say 2017. From that year that he became the first ever undisputed champion in 13 years. When he did that, he was supposed to be number one. He wiped out that whole division, took on the best that division had to offer him, and made easy work out of all of them. So he was supposed to be number one. Who did they go and get? Oh yeah, false media's favorite boy today, Canelo Alvarez. So they went and plugged Canelo in front of Terrence Crawford. But then once Canelo stepped it up and fought a real champion in Bivol, guess what happened? You know the rest. So when you look at this Inoue situation, Inoue, they, in some pound for pound lists, they have him number one. They have him over Terrence Crawford. Others even have him as high as number one, and others have him as high as number two, which means they have him ahead of guys like Errol Spence. And, you know, Errol Spence and guys like Charlo and Dimitri Bivol, guys that are supposed to be at that number one, number two spot, they have Inoue up there. But Inoue doesn't have the resume. He may have the skill, you know, he's demonstrated some tremendous knockout power, but let's keep it a buck. The biggest name on his resume was Nonito Donaire. And when he fought Nonito Donaire the first time, Nonito Donaire was tagging him left and right. And we're not talking about young pound for pound Nonito Donaire. We're talking about like an old, close to 40 years old Nonito Donaire that hasn't been in his prime in years. And he gave Inoue a run for his money. So with that, I'm saying is this is a big, big step up fight. Now you want to talk about Inoue is a high level pound for pound elite, even, you know, as far as number 1 or 2 on that list. We're gonna find out very soon if he is, because he's taking on one of the most decorated boxers in boxing today. A slick puncher, great head movement, footwork, very elusive, throws great combination punching, is Stephen Fulton. So we will see. This already is going to be one of the top 5 fights of the year. I'm looking forward to it. I believe it goes down in the spring of this year. So in just a matter of months, we're going to get one of the biggest fights of the year. So 2023 is already shaping up to be one of the biggest years in boxing. And, you know, we'll see what happens. If Inoue wins this one, definitely Inoue goes into that top 10 pound for pound. If Stephen Fulton wins this one, he goes into my top 10 pound for pound, and he better go on new media and false media, old media. He better go on all their top 10 pound for pound lists. So I'm Wise for Wise Words Media. Peace.